This video is sponsored by Gamos Metal Cruise 2023.
Amassing the bodies and pits as they die, sentient and filthy they rot. Flammable and singing, discarded like waste. For the fire of the handgun, you played it all wrong. And soul and valor.
Goregrind hails from United States. This one is Lipoma with an album called Odes to Suffering. This is a one-man project from United States indeed, and it features 16 tracks, and all this stuff is gore grind, or death grind in some cases, people might point out. Now, because this is a one-man project done with drum machine, it's kind of a grind equivalent to whatever a lot of bedroom black metal bands are doing. So one man trying to tackle all the possible problems, all the songwriting challenges, etc., etc. You get the idea. Now, this was done in New York City, one of my favorite cities in the world, recorded and mixed and mastered by one guy who is also doing the music. And that's where the problem, the main problem lies. Don't get me wrong, when death grind or gore grind is done properly, it's actually really, really good. I mean, you're kind of putting best of both worlds together, that is grind parts and death metal. However, most bands fail for a couple of reasons. First of all, often the whole thing becomes like a one-trick pony. You have 20 songs repeating just two way too similar riffs without catchy parts and all that stuff. The second thing is you are unable to put in those catchy parts. Now, Lipoma is all that, but a couple of extra problems to go with, and I'll try to explain why. But first, we'll take a quick look to the band's Metal Archive site. As you can see, this one was founded in 2021, and already during that year, quite a few mini releases, and the following years more, and some compilations until the first album already came out. So within 2 years, basically, the band has been putting on almost 20 releases, which is making me the question, is it more quantity or quality? Most likely so, but can't really comment since this is my first experience with the band, the second album, Odes to Suffering. The problem with the Lipoma thing is, first of all, it's not like it's too much, but it's like almost like not enough variety. But it's definitely going to the right direction, that I have to mention, because there are parts where it just goes more like grindy ways, fast tempo obviously, and kind of a brutal ways and all that stuff. But there are melodies that would like break the pattern, and as such show the potential of the band. But, and now becomes a couple of few buts, and I have to just explain them to you. My main problem with Lipoma's second album is it doesn't sound good enough, and this comes for various reasons. First of all, drum machine. Well, it's not gonna cut it. Drum machine becomes extremely boring when you just have blast beats go with it. I mean, you have to be really creative with drums in the first place, whatever metal band you're doing, but even more so when you're doing drum machine, because drum machine can sound super machine-like when you just add it to the blast beats. It's like one of those bands that's... You get the idea. It's more like going crazy industrial without actually being industrial, and that's not a compliment. So that is one of the main problems. The drums don't sound real enough. They just sound sloppy. I mean, they don't sound like they're played by human. The sound patterns, samples, whatever, they kind of suck. But that's not the worst of it. The worst of, in my opinion, about the production is that the overall sound is like a little bit off. It sounds like it is done with a budget, small one. And that makes the gears sound rather sloppy. They're not powerful, that's not brutal, that's not just, kicking ass. It's more like, yeah, you're doing it with your computer at your home, and it's lacking a punch or two or a kick. And in my opinion, that is a very important thing when we're talking about brutal music. If brutal music doesn't sound brutal because of the production, beat drums, bass, guitars, what have you, what there is really to it. I mean, then you have only the riffs. Which also brings us to the next point, the vocals. I kind of get what Mr. Lipoma is trying to do with the vocals and all, but they're not very good. I mean, there's certain kind of a gruntiness with the vocals, and that's supposed to be something different than your typical growliness, but unfortunately it's not really cutting the deal here. The thing here is, it's one of those powerless things, much like the guitar sound, much like the drum machine and all that stuff. So when you have various instruments, including vocals here, as kind of a powerless, it's gonna sound sloppy, and that's the main problem here. So the problem isn't really so much with the songwriting, which is quite okay, but nothing out of ordinary, but with how the whole thing is here is executed, which makes this sound more like a demo recording. Unfortunately so. So I have a couple of ideas how this could be a lot better and still being true to the whole idea. First of all, real drummer. Secondly, way more brutal, way more heavy guitar sound. Thirdly, better vocals. Now when it comes to the guitar riffs and melodies, they have something, potential. And as such, I'm not saying this is a bad album, but I'm saying this is a very mid album, like nowadays kids said. It's mediocrity in so many ways because as a whole, it doesn't kick your butt or, dismember your, hands and arms and legs. So I'm saying this has a potential, but so far this is a very, very demo level recording. And it's kind of unfortunate because some of those melodies are actually pretty good, pretty catchy, and the songs are not overly extending. I mean, they are more like 2-minute songs in and out, which works fantastic for grind or death grind, gore grind, what have you. So technically speaking, this is a little bit of hit and miss. Songwriting, quite nice, quite decent. Production-wise, no go. So we'll look forward to hearing from Lipoma unless he gets really, really annoyed with my review and all that stuff later on. And maybe the next time there will be a real lineup, real drums, powerful guitars and bass and properly growling. And then we have a real good Goregrind band from New York City. Let's keep our thumbs for that. Meanwhile, if you're a Goregrind fanatic, go check out the links provided in the description box. If not, move on and wait for our next review. Thanks for checking out this review. If you like it, click like, thumbs up and all that stuff, and subscribe to the channel. Take care and see you soon with more Rauta stuff coming your way. Bye bye.